This recording is for the Inequalities assignment in Unit 4. And so I'm going to go over a few examples. So first one, so all of these we want to solve the equation for x, but now we have some fractions in there. So what we can do is if we look at all of the denominators that we have and we find a least common denominator. So in this case, between 2, 6, and 3, the common denominator is 6. So I want to multiply every single one of these terms by 6. Now, what does that mean? So I have 6 over 1 times x over 2. Now remember, we multiply straight across, so we get 6x over 2, but 2 goes into 6 3 times, so we're just left with 3x. Then if we look at the second one, we have 6 over 1 times 7, 6. And sometimes you might want to cross-cancel ahead of time if you see that. If not, you can multiply it and then reduce afterwards. And so in this case, we just get 7. And then for the last one, we have 6 over 1 times 4 thirds. Here we get 24 over 3, but 3 goes into 24 8 times. So what does that mean for our equation? So this first one, we got 3x, so we're going to write that there, minus the second one we got 7, and the last one we got 8. Now this makes it a lot easier to solve, and so we need to add 7 to both sides. We get 3x is less than 15. Divide by 3 on both sides, so x is less than 5 is our answer. Next example, n minus 2 over 5 minus n over 3 less than or equal to 2. So again, we want to look at all of the, and remember this one's over 1, denominators, and so it would be 15. So we want to multiply every term by 15. So again, looking at that, we have n minus 2 over 5 times 15 over 1. And we notice that 5 goes into 5 once and goes into 15 3 times. So we end up with 3 times n minus 2 over 1, which is just 3 times n minus 2. Looking at the next one, we have n over 3 times 15 over 1. Again, we get 15n over 3, but 3 goes into 15, so we get 5n. And then the 2 times 15. There's nothing really fancy there. We get 30. So, let me just get rid of that page. What we have now is we have 3 times n minus 2 minus 5n less than or equal to 30. So now we need to distribute this 3. So we get 3n minus 6 minus 5n less than or equal to 30. We need to combine like terms. So 3n minus 5n is negative 2n minus 6, less than or equal to 30. Give us some more room. Continue to solve, so I need to add 6 to both sides. Negative 2n less than or equal to 36. Last but not least, we need to divide by a negative 2. Now here we get n, here we get negative 18. But anytime I actually physically multiply or divide by a negative, my sign flips directions. So our answer is n is greater than or equal to negative 18. Next example, 4/9 z minus 2z over 3 is less than 1/2. So same thing, we look at the 9, the 3, and the 2, and we look for a common denominator, and in this case it would be 18. So we want to multiply everything by 18. Now a little trick I do, I write it up on the top because I know it's going to be able to cross cancel with the denominator. So here I would say 9 goes into 9 once and 18 twice, and then I know I have 4z times 2 left over. Here the 3 goes into 3 once and the 18 6 times, so then I have 2z times 6. And then here the 2 goes into 2 once, goes into 18 9, 1 times 9 is 9. So then I have 8z minus 12z is less than 9. Combine like terms, 8z minus 12z is negative 4z. And then we have to divide by the negative 4. So we end up with z, and then we have negative 9/4, but again we divided by a negative, so our sign flips directions. So our answer is z is greater than negative 9/4. Next example, 3/10 t plus 2 minus t over 20 greater than or equal to 3/5. So let's look at our denominators. We have 10, we have 20, and we have 5. And so the least common denominator would be 20. Now this one's a little tricky because it's 3/10 times t plus 2. So we only have to really multiply the front part by 20 because it's eventually going to get distributed anyway. So 10 goes into 20 twice, so we have 2 times 3, which is 6, times this t plus 2. 20 goes into 20 evenly, so we're left with just t. And here 5 goes into 24 times, so 3 times 4 is 12. Distribute the 6, so we have 6t plus 12 minus t greater than or equal to 12. Combine like terms, 5t plus 12 greater than or equal to 12. Next step is we subtract 12 from both sides, and we get 0. Divide by 5 on both sides, so t is greater than or equal to 0. Next example, 2z over 3 minus 3z over 4 plus 4z over 5 minus 5z over 6 is less than 7. So even though we have a lot of terms here, we still do the same thing. So we have to find a common denominator between, remember this is 1, between all of these denominators, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1. In this case it would be 60. So every term gets multiplied by 60. So here 3 goes into 60 20 times. So we end up with 2z times 20. So that's 40z. Here 4 goes into 60 15 times. So we end up with 3z times 15, which gives us 45z. Here 5 goes into 60 12 times, so we have 12 times 4z, and that gives us 48z. And then 6 goes into 60 10 times, so we have 5z times 10, which gives us 50z. And then 1 in 60, nothing happens, so 7 times 60 is 420. Now we need to combine the like terms on the left. So we have 40 minus 45 plus 48 minus 50 equals negative 7z less than 420. Then we have to divide both sides by a negative 7. So then we get 7 z equals, and then because we divided by negative, our sign changes direction, so we have a greater than sign, and then 420 divided by 7 is 60. So our answer is z is greater than 60. Last example, a plus 2 over 16 minus a plus 3 over 12 greater than a plus 6 over 24. So again, we look at all of our denominators and we need a common denominator between all of them. And that would be 48. So we want to multiply everything by 48. So 16 goes into 48 3 times. So we have 3 times a plus 2. 12 goes into 48 4 times. So we have 4 times a plus 3 greater than, and then 24 goes into 48 twice. So we have 2 times a plus 6. So notice we'll have to do quite a bit of distributing. This 3 needs to be distributed, this 4 needs to be distributed, this 2 needs to be distributed. So we get 3a plus 6 minus 4a minus 12, because it's a negative, so don't forget this whole thing has to get moved over. And then greater than 2a plus 12. Now we need to combine some like terms. So 3a minus 4a is negative a. And then we have 6 minus 12 is a negative 6, greater than 2a plus 12. Okay, so now we need to solve. So I'm going to add a to both sides. We have negative 6 is less than 3a plus 12. Subtract 12 from both sides. We get negative 18 is greater than 3a. Divide by 3. And so we get negative 6 is greater than a. So a is less than negative 6. Now, just because our answer was negative, that didn't mean that we had to change our sign the other direction. We didn't actually multiply or divide by a negative, so we don't change that sign. But I can rewrite it as a is less than negative 6 if it makes it easier to see. So that's the end of this recording. Now you need to call, text, or Skype message me so I can ask you a couple questions about this recording, and you can get full credit for it. Have a great day.